So Carlos, we've been working together for a few years, but I think that to set the scene, maybe the best thing to do to start is that you share a little bit Entel's vision for digital transformation, what you guys had in mind when you started this journey.
That was not on the script. No, just joking. So, gentlemen, the main objective of this is Fireside, and in order to explain what we are doing and what we are doing, and all the Q&A. So, what is the what is the vision of digital transformation for Entel? We can see it from different perspectives. We can see it from the product side, simplification of the offer. We can see it from the technology side. Some people do it, and we can see it from the process side and all the efficiency that you can deliver on. And based upon that, on top of that, you can give what we can call a user experience or experience for the client. So for Entel, the goal and all the strategy that is supposed to be sustained for the vision that we have for the digital transformation, it's all of that. So we create simplification in the product that is supposed to be digital. We create a standardization, a process that must be and should be standard and deliver the efficiency to the organization, and also an IT landscape that could leverage and that could help all this in terms of new products, reduce the time to market, more efficient, and we believe that all of this combined can deliver a unique user experience to the client. That's the vision that we have for the digital transformation. We have to understand that also these pillars that we have in our digital transformation has to be, let's say, on the context of the new context that we are dealing with. As you know, in 2020, more or less 50% of the world population will be millennial. In Chile, we are a Chile operator, Chile and Peru, it is supposed to have 75% of the workforce, it will be millennium. And as you know, these new guys need seamless, paperless, real time, and do a lot of noise on the network and on the social side. So ourselves, Telco, since we are leaders in our countries, we believe that on the next decade, if we don't do nothing and we change our business, we change our product portfolio, we won't get those clients. Okay, these new guys don't want to go to the stores, don't want to call the call centers. So we have to change, and don't want to work also for a long period in the organization. So all of this combined, it's a toxical, can be a toxical and nuclear problem for all the telcos and for ourselves. So we started more or less on 2015 a journey that is supposed to be ended in 2020 in order to get these 10 years of leverage with these new millennium guys. So this is more or less what we think that is our vision for the digital transformation. Not on the technology side, not on the product side, not on the process side, not on the experience side, but all of it combined in order to deliver what we believe that is the unique user experience for a digital telco that we want to achieve and maintain the leadership that we have in Chile and Peru. Okay, this is what we think.
Thank you. So we started summer 2015. It's been an interesting journey. These projects don't really come easy. An holistic scope like the one you described is creating multiple challenges. If you had to elaborate on what are the biggest challenges that we have to work with to get through to where we are today.
So we started on 10 of September 2015, this new journey. This is a business transformation. We are creating a new telco with new products. Normally, I said that we are changing Just to give an example, we are changing a Boeing 737 during the flight to Airbus A380. That's a complex situation, that's a complex process, and of course we have to deliver our services, we have to deliver the results to the shareholders. At the same time, we are transforming ourselves to a new telco for the next decade. So since it's a business transformation, a real business transformation, not a technology transformation, since it's led by the business, the main challenge that we have is for the number of people that are involved. You have to understand we have involved in this transformation, all of the companies, all of the shareholders. We have around 1,000 people dedicated to this, 24 nationalities. So if you think that you have 1,000 guys, 24 nationalities, doing a complete new telco, new business model for B2C and B2B. We have B2C and B2B. Actually, we are more B2B and the postpaid and the B2C. It's a complex deal. It's a complex organization. And we have basically create 10 rules of engagement during this process. Strong governance, because it's very, very complex to create and to manage since we are changing the business. So it's very, very important that we create a strong governance. This transformation reports directly to the board, not to the executive committee, to the board of directors, because it's a huge investment. We are changing a lot. We have creating an architecture, an enterprise architecture, a standard, more or less, in order to define, and we use it. There is no democracy on that. We manage risk above all things since we are transforming, so it's very, very important. Since day one, we create rules for simplify all the things that we are doing. We think big, start small, and scale very, very fast. That's the main goal of it. We have all the data quality because we are a 50 years telco, so like other telcos, we have the same problems that the other telcos have. A lot of legacies, more than 500 legacies, more than 80 providers. All of what we have is depending upon the providers, so it was a huge problem. We bring from the business side, my team and all the team that we have business guys that are leading and take decisions. We actually create strong, it's very, very important that on this process you create a strong relationship with partners. You don't have, if you have to do a transformation like this, you don't want to work with vendors. You have to work with partners, okay? Since we are creating a new business, since we are creating new telco, it's like a marriage, okay? So you have to choose the bride or the husband or the wife, it depends upon. And for that, you have to decide that you're gonna create a journey together, okay? You have to think that during this process, it will be mistakes from both parts, and we have to learn with it, but at the end we have to fix it and we have to find a solution. And you cannot do that with vendors. We have to work with partners. So we have to create a partnership network in order to help you and work with you during this journey, because there is no solution. There is not only one solution. There is a lot of solutions. There is a lot of ways. And no one is doing it. So we are trying to create a unique path, but of course with several ways of getting there. So for that you have to create big relationships with the partnership in order to get this kind of transformation. So this is basically the main challenge that we have been during the last 2.5 years that we have on this journey, okay?
I would agree.
And we have a lot of fights, of course. It's not easy, okay? Not all the times we have the same opinion, internal and externally. We have a lot of challenge, a lot of debate, a lot of fightings, but at the end we have to find a solution. So that's why I said it is a marriage. At the end, It's a marriage, we've got kids, and we have to find solutions for them, okay? So this is basically what, in order to give you a metaphor for this kind of transformation that we are doing, okay?
So you mentioned simplification in the beginning. So let me throw another discussion point. Many of these projects, I've seen quite a few across the world, hit very often a big roadblock, that is the simplification of the portfolio. In many cases, through these projects, we rebuild the legacy. So a lot of work to try and create an agile system that can adjust to the future. But in reality, we bring the past and we spend a lot of time to rebuild the legacy. This has been a very big point of discussion. How do we ensure that we introduce the necessary simplification in the portfolio? So can you elaborate on what we did about the portfolio, you know, the choice that Entel made in terms of simplification, and also what are the impacts that we start to see now that, you know, part of the solution is available for the market? What are the business metrics that we observe as a result of that?
Okay, first, a sentence. Einstein once said, if it's not simple enough, you can explain it. You can't explain it. You don't know enough from the deal. So simplicity, it's a product of a superior mind. What does it mean? It means that it's not easy to create simple stuff. And since we are a 50 years old company, like other companies, we have legacies, we have created a lot of products, a lot of process, a lot of huge amount of problems. Normally humans do that. So we are no different. Saying that, it was one of the main challenges that we have since day one. Okay, we create a set of rules, we create a set of challenge. We work with several companies in order to challenge and push back all the exercises. It's not easy, so we didn't find a formula, but we work with several players, with partners, with consultants in order to achieve that. So we found the process in which we believe that is more or less the good, not the best, because the best we're going to see in a few time, but the good result, because we, just for you to understand, we reach more or less 90% of simplification, 90% of simplification on the product portfolio that we have.
So you went from 100 products to 10, you know, in terms of ratio.
Just to have you understand, we have more than 1,000 products,
of course,
in one of the B2C portfolios. So it's a complex situation. So we, better than that, we found that after the simplification, we create rules in order to guarantee that on the future we don't commit the same mistakes.
Yeah.
So how you have done that? We have simplified. We reach around 90% of simplification of our product portfolio. We create the standardization process. We create rules of engagement in order to have a process fully out of the box. Why we create process fully out of the box? Just to give you a clue, our level of customization, it's less than 10% on products that we have. Less than 10% is customized. It means that everything is configured. Why we have done that? Because of simplicity, but of course we don't want lock-in on the vendor side.
Sure.
Okay? And better than that is that all our product portfolio or our concept or our organization to the future, it's to be based upon the user side. What does it mean? It means that when we create, now we have launched prepaid, when we create the B2C unit, also we change the organization side. Our business unit works on a work cell environment, an agile way, that everyone works on a perspective of 18 on the business unit side. So we can launch, we can design and put in production on the same day one product. it means that it is led by the business. So we just change the organization on the business user side. So we use this transformation, of course, for the client, but also internally for get the best efficient. Why we have done that? Because we believe that doing this will deliver more and better service for our client, and therefore they're going to have better experience to work with us and interact with us. Okay, so this is more or less the rules that we have created in order to guarantee and do a ring fence on the product simplification. Okay, we are obsessed with the standardization. Okay, of course this is more or less a paradigm, because if you standardize, if you stress up the out of the box, it's a complex in order to give let's say a customer journey, a user experience to the client on a customized way of doing stuff. So that's why we design an architecture that decouple all the complexity in order to allow this user journey to the client itself, that can do the better that they can do, and internally everything can be standardized and efficient in order to sustain all these metrics that we have put in place.
That leads to another point that we can bring up, is the customer journey, the digital experience. That was one of the main, one of the key areas of focus for you at the beginning of the project. Now we launched the prepay part of the new stack in Chile end of November. We have a few months of history. Do you see any changes in any feedback from the customer base? Change of behavior, impacts on churn?
Yes, we saw. We have, of course, we have increased our. We are increasing in Peru, and we are trying to maintain the market share in Chile. We have better tools now, because in the past, for example, for us to launch a product, we took between 3 to 6 months, and we spend $1 to $3 million. Now we can do it on the same day. So every time we can react to the competition, it's good, because it's very fast. So if we can target better our customers, we have decoupled our architecture in order to allow all the journey, all the customer journey, on the website, online side, and also from the call center side. They can do it. They have a 360 view. So we are better informed, and we can give better information to the client. We can, of course, give them one of the things that they must and they ask for, because as you might understand, on the prepaid phase, it's very, very important for the client. It's very sensible to experience, but also to price.
Yeah.
So the only way we can do a lower cost in prepaid is to be very, very efficient and be very, very digital. So this is one of the things that we are trying to achieve and we are trying to get. Of course, are we fully power in terms of the deliverable? No. Why? Because, like I told you, we are on the process of it. We have to maintain all the operations. So we have a combined and a complex model between legacy, that are being decommissioned, and the legacy process and legacy people, in order to be on the new stack. So it will take time, because at the end of the day, we are talking about people, okay? And we have to work with them. It will take a little bit of time in order to get our results. But from our customer, we deliver them what we think it is the best experience right now, and we are trying to get that.
Okay. Last quick question is, you said it's a learning process, and we all learn from each other. We have a few fights and we learn things. So what is the big, let's pick one, what is the thing that you learned through this process that surprised you, something that you would use if you had to do it another time tomorrow morning?
Okay. We have to understand that one thing, it's what we think it will be different. The question is if we can do it different or not. That's two different scenarios. So, in my perspective, one of the things, the 2-3 things that we we should change or not change because it's reality, okay? We have to understand that one thing it's what we think it is, what we can do it, and what we will do it, okay? That's three different things. So first, journeys, customer experience versus the process and what we call the so-called standardization process. When we talk about bill to payment, order to activation, such things like that doesn't fit and doesn't glue with the customer journey. So when you are talking about the customer, there is no order to activation, there is no business to process, there's some business to bill to pay, whatever that means. So it is a complex binomial when you think that you are creating a customer journey that is the best experience that you want to deliver to your client, zero touch, one click, okay, very, very efficient. And then you have a full non-customization solution that you want to achieve. That's a big challenge.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a big challenge. And to be very honest and very, very open, there is not a solution, okay? And if you look at it, there is no one solution that says, okay, let's do from bill to pay, another thing, that's do a journey, and then go down to the application side and see how that works on the workflow and on the technology side. So you have a lot of dot points that you have to glue and integrate and to customize. So it's not simple. So we don't have the right technology yet in order to sustain this new experience. Because what does it mean? It means that if you want to deliver the best user experience to the client, you have to customize the best that you have. And if you do that, you have a huge problem. So you have to create a key, you have to create a rule in order to deliver this let's say, binomial in terms of user experience. First. Second, human quantity and quality of resources. Like I told you, I have 1,000 people working, 24 nationalities. There is a lack of digital expertise, technology expertise in the world to deliver a transformation like this.
Yeah.
There is no miracle, so it's one of those paths that you have to follow and you have to train. If someone thinks there is resources around the world to deliver a program like this, it's a myth. There isn't it. So it's a problem of quantity and quality. So we definitely in LATAM, that work in LATAM, we are around 600 million people. We have a gap. We have a gap in terms of resources. Last but not least, time plans. Okay, because we definitely underestimate some of complexity.
All the time.
We always do, because if you do a plan that is on the right, so you have a lot of buffers. So if you overpass it, so it's an issue. It's a complex situation that you have to address all of the time, and you have to evaluate it. But this is basically the three things: resources, technology and process, and the time plan.
Time plan.
That will definitely change.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.